Hey everybody! Today, Rahdo runs down Lorenzo el Magnifico, Houses of Renaissance, which is the first expansion for the wonderful worker placement game Lorenzo el Magnifico. I'm going to spend a few minutes today letting you know what comes in this expansion, and the answer to that would be a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, so much goodness. And for some people, this might be the most exciting element, all the resources you need to add a fifth player to the game, the pink player. Welcome, new pink family. And to be able to make that work in the game, we've got this little thing that slaps down. Used to be this is a 2 to 4 player game. Now it is a 2 to 5 player game, and so you have that. Although you also notice when you put this on the table, not only does it change the player count for turn order, there is an additional privilege we can get. In addition to lumber and servants and money and all the rest of it, we can grab these special tokens, and there's actually several different ways you can earn these special tokens. What are they? They are a whole bunch of new cool things. These are basically kind of the equivalent of getting a privilege whenever you want. Whenever you earn one of these, you take it, you can look at it, and on some future turn, or whenever, you can reveal it and get the benefit. Like a couple of stone. That might be better for you than 1 stone and 1 lumber. Or well, hey, there's a stone or a lumber. And what else we got? Oh, something like this. Activate a green building without having to do the normal harvest step. That's pretty nice. How about 3 coins instead of 2? So these are really awesome. They just add a little bit extra fluff. And sometimes you need these to actually pay for other actions because they are a resource like any other. So these special tokens are pretty cool. Also, we're going to get 3 new excommunication tiles. I've got them all out right here. The first one, if you get excommunicated the first time, means whenever you would collect these, you get 1 less than you should. And that would be kind of a shame because they're so much fun. There's a bit of a random gamble factor to them when you're going to grab them. Let's see, the second one is you cannot get to the 5th tower if you are excommunicated on the second go, which is the 5th tower. You're saying, what's that all about? Well, folks, instead of 4 towers, there are now 5. The game comes with this little thing we can put over to the side, which will have, like all the other towers, 4 cards on it at any given time that players can go for. And this really livens up the game because all the special cards that would go in this tower are of the 4 other types of colors. You never know exactly what you're going to get. This is great because sometimes you might get frozen out of the purple tower, but you really just want 1 more purple card because you're trying to recruit somebody or whatever. Hey, here's a purple card over here on the 5th tower where nobody is gone. And you will notice, hey, this is one of the places where we can get those little special tokens if we go high for the big ones. So the game comes with a whole deck of new cards that will only ever appear in the 5th tower. They come in all the different colors, and you know, there's a lot of them that kind of what would you say, harken back to the original game, but there are some cool new effects in here as well. So, man, there's just tons of new cards in there. So that's a pretty big deal. Now, of course, that 5th tower is necessary to be able to handle adding a 5th player to the game, but it really does mix things up no matter what your player count is. Oh, and let's see, I was also talking about the excommunication. If you get excommunicated this time, at the end of the game, you will lose points if you have a 5th or a 6th color card in any of the different types. So that kind of maybe hinders you or forces you to scrunch down because you're a bit more restricted. Let's see, but there is more. How about a whole bunch of new leaders that we can draft for at the beginning of the game and then use when or work towards. And like those cards, there are so many cool new features in here. Probably the single biggest one is which ones? All of these cards give you an additional worker placement space. Once you've earned them, you've got a new place you could send your workers that only you can go to. That can really change things up. You know, the whole nature of a worker placement game. Players having private worker spaces that are very powerful. That's really cool. And you know, there's lots of other ones too. Oh, these are interesting as well. The notion that in the original game, a lot of the requirements you needed to get these leaders was, you know, having 2 of one color and 4 of another color or whatnot. You see a lot more of this max now, where, you know, to get, who is this? This is Beatrice here. You have to have 5 cards, but no more than 1 blue. You have to have 9 cards, but no more than 3 colors. So this gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're trying to recruit some of these particular leaders instead of just, you know, sticking to the regular. And, you know, so there's just a bunch of these. Hey, how about no excommunicado for the rest of the game? Wouldn't that be nice? Lots of cool features. How about every time you, you know, collect a green and put it in place, you get some faith? You know, lots of neat ideas there. Very cool. Really great way to mix it up. But wait, there's more. This is an interesting, funky little thing. The game comes with 2 of these restrictor tiles, one for 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, or 4 players, and one for 5 players. What happens is you randomly put it on one of the towers as part of setup, and it changes the cost. Instead of a 1, 3, 5, and 7, we now cost 5, 6, 7, and 8. So things get a little bit more expensive than normal if you want to. So the green column in this particular round is going to be tougher to get. And at the end of the round, it moves on to the next one. So over the course of the game, if you're really looking for particular colors, you have to worry about this because it can make it much, much tougher to get in. You need a lot more servants. The interesting thing is the one for 5 players, when you add that one, it actually makes columns cheaper than normal. Suddenly we went from 1, 3, 5, 7 to 1, 2, 4, 6, which of course, can really help out with the fact that at 5 players, even with this additional tower, I would assume things get a little bit tighter. So you've got these just to mix it up a little bit and give you a little bit more to do long-term planning over. So that's a cool bunch of stuff. But all of this, I think, pales in comparison to probably the coolest new thing, which is these family crest tiles. These are all super powerful, and the way you get them is really neat. At the beginning of the game, you're going to draw a certain number of them based on the number of players. So if we're playing a 3-player game, you get 3 of them. And then you've got these auction bidding tiles. You randomly assign 1 to each. Everybody out of the way. So we go like this. And now, before the game gets going, players will bid on these. And so I might really want Della Revere here because Della gives me these extra faith tiles. If Della's in the game and somebody gets her, well, somebody will get her if she's in the game, you put these down here on the faith track on the appropriate spaces. There, there, and there. And what happens is, if you hit these spots, you get all the resources. So faith is rewarded even more. But on the flip side, if you get this family, hey, you get all the benefits from being faithful. But if you get excommunicated, you lose 5 extra points. So you really have to work. And of course, the problem is you want to work all the way up there and grab these things, but it's tougher to get the top ones. So, I mean, and all of these things, there are so many cool ones. Like, hey, how about a 5th worker? A level 3 worker that doesn't count as a family member for restrictions, and only you can have it. You know, this might be something you would want to bid very high on. Hey, every time you take a green card, you immediately get to do harvesting. As a free bonus. So that can be very cool. Or just convert military into money. In a game where money can be super tight and maybe military is easy to get, this could be a game changer. So anyway, to get these things, if you want one of them, of course everybody's going to vote. I say I really want Della. And so I'll do my opening bid at, I don't know. I really want her bad. $6. And a lumber and a stone. Now that doesn't mean that's what I pay. That means those are the resources I start the game with. If I started down here, it's 6 coins, 2 lumber, 2 stone, and some faith. But I'm kind of bidding kind of in the middle to keep anybody away. But if Jen decides she wants her even more, wants those faith targets because of, whatever cards she might have up her sleeve, she might, I'll outbid you. Boom. I'll do for 5 and 1. And like, okay, I'm not going to go to 4. So heck, I'll just come way down here and try to get, Malatetsa here. And then, the pink player might outbid me. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take the highest point there. And that's how everybody gets whatever their unique special starter power is that can really change the course of the game and push you in different directions and give you different strategies to chase after. These are absolutely awesome. Total game changers in the best possible way. Plus, this is just a fun way to start the game. I have to admit, this is a lot more fun than the card draft rules of the original game, which really kind of drags on a bit as everybody has to look up. I mean, these, you just put them out there. I absolutely love them. I'd like to see this idea transplanted to more games. It is so cool. So that's what you get in the Houses of Renaissance for Lorenzo and Magnifico. An awesome expansion. If you love Lorenzo, it's kind of a must-have. It really, really is. Adds so much more variety and replayability to a game that was already dripping in that. Absolutely amazing. My only real complaint, I still kind of wish they would have done something a little bit about the player scaling. Actually, I forgot to mention, when you add the expansion, you have another of the You can't even see it, can you? Another one of the standard worker placement spaces is completely removed. So worker placement gets even tighter. And that has always been my one complaint about Lorenzo as a two-player game. But that has nothing to do with Houses of Renaissance, which is excellent. An excellent expansion for an excellent game. That's it, folks. Lorenzo El Magnifico, Houses of the Renaissance. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.